Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of Keep It Moving Podcast. I am your host, Novelty, and as always, I got sitting here to my left is Mike B.
What it do?
How's it going?
Pretty good, pretty
We've been
good.
gone for a long time.
I've been gone, or you've been gone?
We've been gone.
We've been gone.
Yeah.
Don't be putting that off on me.
I didn't put it. I said we. You already tried to start stuff.
That's how we kick this show back off,
Fighting.
Yes. How are you?
I'm good.
Yes, we have been gone for a long time. It seems like it's been at least 3 weeks, maybe a month.
I think it's been about a month.
A long time.
It's been a minute.
We're back, though. A lot has transpired. You had a family emergency.
Yes.
Your boy Mike B finally went out of the, well, not finally went out of the country, but I went on my first cruise.
Woo-hoo! Did you have fun?
You're excited about that?
Hey, everybody got to be excited about something.
Yes, I had a really, really good time. I didn't know what to expect. I guess the cruise didn't scare me. It was more so I knew I had to fly again. And flying, no matter how many times I do it, how many times I've done it, it never gets easier. I'm always queasy. I'm always uneasy. I'm always nervous the entire time.
Take something.
Like something.
Take a Valium or something before you go.
Well, they don't just the street, just buy some on the street.
Tell your doctor.
Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to at least introduce my phobia to my doctor, so that they know. And then when I'm about to fly or go
they'll
somewhere,
prescribe you something.
They'll prescribe me something because I need something definitely.
Do your ears pop?
Yeah, my ears pop, but I'm usually chewing gum as well as drinking.
See, mine chewing gum. I don't drink, but even when I'm chewing gum, my ears don't pop that well, so it's hard for me to fly. The takeoff and the landing kills my ears.
Oh no, I can pop my ears with ease.
Yeah,
it's just sitting there with ease. I can't do.
I can go to sleep, and I usually sleep on the plane.
It was like taking off. Like I was cool. I got me a Jack and Coke. And I was relaxing or whatever, and I'm listening to a podcast. I'm trying to chill. And like once you make it like to a certain elevation, it seems like you forget that you're actually flying. But if you hear some turbulence, you're quickly reminded that you ain't in control of this thing. And that's what it's almost like flying for the first time all over again with me. But then like I got so nervous that I had to use the bathroom, but I refused to get up and go use the bathroom. So, and like my stomach was growling. I know if I went to the bathroom, it was going to be
y'all
bad.
Flew out of LA?
We flew from here to LA. Yes.
So that was a long flight for
3
you to
hours.
have to go to the bathroom.
The thing is, by the time we made it there, like
you didn't have to go anymore.
I didn't have to go anymore. So I'm like that's weird, and I didn't have to use the bathroom the entire day. Because we flew to LA and then we got onto the cruise ship, and I don't think it was the next morning when I actually used the bathroom. I was like, I forgot I had to use it all this time, but I think it was the excitement of actually traveling again because I haven't been anywhere since 2015. So traveling again, being on a cruise for the first time, trying to experience what this is all about, I really had a good time.
But next time I'm going with y'all. This time I didn't go because I was tripping about hurricane season, didn't realize y'all was going out of LA, which had y'all been going out of Florida, would have had a reason to trip.
Yeah, I think if we were leaving from Florida after all those hurricanes and all the destruction, I would have canceled.
Yeah, but next time I'm gonna go, and then it was a good thing I didn't go because I did have a family emergency. I had to bury a loved one, but I'm glad y'all had fun. So you didn't have any queasiness on the cruise?
Being on the ship, like I've been on a boat before, because when we were in Mexico the first time, we went on a booze cruise, and it's like a much smaller boat, and you're drinking the entire time, and the boat's going faster, and you got more waves, so it's like that's queasy. Okay. But on this boat, as long as I focused on the people and what's going on the boat, and not looking to the shore to see that we're moving, then I was okay.
Okay, so you didn't really feel it.
You didn't. Well, sometimes you did feel it. But then I just focused on the people.
Focus on the people.
I kept telling myself, focus on the people. Because anytime I looked, I avoided like looking at the water until the very last day. But other than that, I mean, they got everything on the cruise. This is my first time, so I didn't know what to expect. We were eating all day. We were drinking all day.
That's my best friend's favorite part of the cruise.
Oh, we were partying
all day.
And they have like a little nightclub. I haven't been to like a nightclub, a dance club, in several years. I think the last time we went was with we was for Anthony. You know Anthony. His birthday party. They had like VIP. Me and JT went, and this is when JT got drunk as if it was his birthday. And that's a story we've told before. But it was a nice time seeing all the different people. I don't know. I guess I don't know why I was scared to go on a cruise. I guess I didn't really understand everything that goes on, but it just felt like I was in a hotel with a lot of shit happening around you.
Yeah. Well, next time I'm going.
We'll see.
No, seriously, it was the hurricane season that bothered me, and it was the year you all decided to plan it. I remember thinking that's during hurricane season. I'm not taking a cruise during hurricane season, and it was shortly after Katrina.
Well, no.
No, I'm talking about the first time that she mentioned it. It was shortly after Katrina.
Yeah, I didn't go.
The first time she mentioned it, and then, a few years had passed, and y'all said y'all were going to do it again. And I was like, nope, I'm not going after hurricane season or during hurricane season.
But
and this year, I'm glad.
You had other things going on because you had your graduation, you had the trip to Disneyland or Disney World or whatever.
So that's on this year.
A lot of money going out.
Yeah, I did have a lot going on this year.
And then paying for college too. So
let's not start talking today. Already sending me information about paying back that dang on bill.
But we went to Mexico, and we spent like a day there. And it was nice there. What I liked about it, they took us to a little shopping area so we can buy like souvenirs or whatever. And the entire time we were there, everybody's trying to basically harass you to buy something, which it's all good. And I actually got you see this little what do you call this thing on my arm?
A friendship bracelet.
It's like a bracelet or whatever. But they make these. This one got my name on it. I got one for you.
Oh, really?
It doesn't have your name on it. But you get to choose. One of them says One Love.
Okay.
And the other one, which they were, as soon as we showed up, they were pumping knees. And this one says,
I need that one.
F Donald Trump.
Oh, I love it. This one is mine. I will wear this everywhere I go.
I said, it's funny that we're in Mexico, and then all the disparaging things he said about Mexicans, they were ready for us because they know a lot of Americans feel the same way about this guy. I said, I kind of figured that you would like
I love it.
You would like that one. But they were pushing those things out.
I bet.
The ones that say F Donald Trump. But we had a good time. We went to this
cool.
I forgot the excursion that we went on. It was also not just a shopping center, but it was also like a little spot, like a geyser almost, where like water is spewing up in the air. And that was a nice little view. I think I got some video of that. But then the entire little walkway, they kept offering us free tequila. And I'm talking about some of the best, smoothest tequila, like that. Remember, I got.
But do you? I don't think I would take free liquor from anybody.
Oh, but that's what they make down there. So they make tequila, so they can give it away for free because they're trying to entice you to buy the other things.
Okay.
And like there was a lot of shops saying like you buy 4 T-shirts, get a free shot, but then just having a conversation with them, being cool with them, they're like, "Hey, you want a shot?" And I was lit.
I bet. What I did not tell you not to get lit before you left.
But I wasn't driving. And like they gave me a chance to drive the boat.
Yeah, but you don't want to be on the edge of the boat and actually fall over because people have been disappearing on cruises. And they think what's been happening is they've been getting drunk and they fall overboard.
I was never anywhere close to the edge. Except for like I said, the very last day, I actually went to the very top of the ship and looked out. It was very, very windy up there. It felt good. It was scary as hell. And I don't know. It was a different experience. We were on the elevator. I was going to breakfast one morning, and there was a couple on the elevator. And it was like, "Did you guys hear all the waves and the storm we just went through?" I'm like, I didn't hear anything. And they started to describe it and say how they were up there earlier and, it was water everywhere. And I'm like, thank God I slept through this because this would have been my very last cruise had I actually experienced it. And the turbulence or the boat moving, I slept through all of it. And I said, Lord knew. that's what I needed.
You needed to sleep.
Right. Because I ain't got time for anything like that.
Wow. Well, that's cool. I'm glad you had fun.
I did. And I've actually, since I've been back, been looking at other cruises. Like, I'm ready to go back again.
Ready. I'm ready. Actually, I'm talking about doing one. I want to do it next year, but I think that's just too short notice for everybody. So probably in 2019.
Well, I will definitely be going on another cruise next year.
Oh, you going next year?
Yeah.
Hey,
I mean, because
okay.
they got some that's like $200 a person. So
Were y'all's accommodations pretty good? Because I know this was one of those pretty low fare cruises too.
yeah, I mean, they had some beds. We didn't spend too much time in the room, so everything was cool to me. It's just like going out of town and staying in like a motel. I was staying in a Motel 6.
Okay.
Because I'm not spending time in the hotel. You're actually sleep there, and then you go and experience the city.
Okay.
I experienced the cruise, and so I enjoyed every moment.
Okay,
of
well
it.
then, hey,
I don't have any complaints.
Let me know where you going, and I might roll with you.
Right on.
I definitely want to hit DC because I want to see the African American History Museum.
I was thinking
this year.
I was thinking about planning a trip for that, but also I want to plan like a bigger trip out of the country for everybody.
Oh, that's
so
cool.
I was going to see what everybody thought about that.
We had to think about that because we leave the country. I might not be able to get back in
because just make sure you got not only your passport, your birth certificate, you got some witnesses,
right?
Because your government name,
right,
might get you on somebody's list,
right. But anyway, okay. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. Wish I'd have had a better time, but it wasn't too bad. It was what it was.
You still got to see some of your family.
I got to see my family, and if anything, you as you start to age, you start to see family less and less. But a funeral always brings everybody back home.
Unfortunately, it seems like that's one of the times
so bad,
where people actually do stop what they're doing and come together.
Home.
But like when you try to plan a family reunion, a lot of times you still don't see.
Yeah. So I did get to see my.
It shouldn't be like that, But
and it shouldn't. But I think life just gets ahead of everybody, especially if your job will give you time off for a funeral. They're not gonna give you time off just to go hang out.
Right.
So I think that's part of it. I got a family reunion. We don't have no family reunion policy, but we do have a bereavement policy. So,
so you got to have PTO or something, vacation time,
and that's kind of hard. So it gets rough, but we did have a good time. I can't even complain about that. And my family member is in a better place.
Right.
So
no more suffering.
For sure, and don't have to deal with Trump no more. So hey. He's in a much better place. Kind of wish I was there with him sometimes. Anyway, you got a bay for me?
I do. This week's Black Achievements in Excellence, we are awarding to an EMS captain with 21 years on the job who will become the first African-American woman in the FDNY to achieve the rank of deputy chief on Thursday. We are talking about Captain Tanya Boyd, who joined the FDNY's emergency medical services while in college as a way to make money. She said she never dreamed that her career would reach such heights. She's excited. She says, I'm so blessed, and African-American women will now see someone who looks like them as a deputy chief, and they will know more is possible.
Girl power. Yes.
Right on. Shout out to Captain Tanya Boyd on this achievement.
Woo!
Per usual, we are still dealing with first.
Well, when it comes to first women, you're going to be dealing with that for a long time. And we'll get first white women before we get first black women. So you'll be dealing with it for a long time.
Well, shout out to her.
Cool. Well, we've been gone for about a month. And a lot has transpired. So if you ain't been paying attention to the news, I'm not about to catch you up. Because it's so much stuff.
You prefaced it as if, let me hip you to what's been going on.
No, I ain't hipping you to nothing. If you ain't been paying attention to the news, you SOL. Because I don't know how you've missed everything that has gone on.
A lot has been going on.
But we're going to hit on a few things. And we're going to start with Agent Orange.
Yeah.
And his crew that has been indicted. Not they think they did anything. Not they investigate. No, they are filing criminal charges against Manafort, Gates, and Papadopoulos. Now
they were coining it Mueller Monday this week.
It was beautiful. It was so beautiful.
It was like a reason. It's like there are some people out there that are still working towards ending this corruption that's in the White House.
Let me tell you how beautiful it was. I was off Monday because I had that funeral.
Right.
I was up at 7 a.m. finger on the news, but to watch the news, to see who was getting indicted.
Yeah. Did we know before Monday who the indictment? I think I heard over the weekend that some indictments were coming.
Yeah, they were coming. We didn't know who it was. Now we know Manafort and Gates. There's 12 counts against them, and one of the counts is treason. It's either life or death. So life in jail or you die. You know, Papadopoulos was charged with lying to the FBI, which is a felony.
Didn't he make a plea?
But
plea
see,
deal
Papadopoulos told the FBI a long time ago that he was guilty of lying to them. So he has been working with the FBI for the last 2 months. Now they say when you work with, and I'm putting "with" in quotes, they say when you work with the FBI, it's usually you're wired and things of that nature. So nobody, of course, knows for sure, but he been getting dirt, helping the FBI get dirt for the last 2 months.
Who is the new? I feel like we talked about this. Who's the new FBI director?
Mueller. Well,
no,
I don't know.
Mueller's
I don't remember
counsel.
the guy's name.
Okay, because just anybody that's been appointed by 45, I don't trust. So that's one of the things that concerns me. You know, like with Sessions, I'm sure they're working to try and either shut down this investigation, block indictments.
Well, now,
they're
even
trying.
with Sessions,
he's under hot water right now too. Yeah.
brings back his testimony. Yeah. So now he's in trouble because he was right there at that table with Papadopoulos,
acting like he don't know what's going on.
Saying, "Oh, I don't know nothing about Russian conversations." When Papadopoulos specifically said with that to everybody at that table, "Hey, we got information from Russia. Russia wants to give us information." So he did know, and he lied. So Sessions could be in a little bit of hot water.
Yeah, and I hear the Democrats again are calling for him to resign.
Yes, but you know we calling for all of them to resign. To be quite honest, so let's be real.
Ain't that the truth?
So I mean, it was a beautiful Monday, but let's be honest. Trump has not been implicated yet, but this is the beginning. And from what saying,
even though it seemed like it's been taking forever to get here,
it felt so good.
To be honest, this is actually happening. He hasn't even been in office a year,
right? And
shit has been hitting the fan.
This is
they've
been
worst
investigating this for a little bit over a year now. It was July of last year when this investigation started. So they've been doing this for a little bit over a year. And you got to remember, also in the middle of the investigation, he fired the FBI director.
Right.
And then special counsel was put in. So now the question is he going to fire
special counsel Mueller?
The special counsel? But if he does, it's not going to look good for him at all.
But who cares about how it looks when you got Republicans that are willing to turn a blind eye to what's going on?
But now
lot of them.
Remember, I keep telling you there's three arms of the government.
Yeah.
Okay?
Only one I see doing something is the legislative.
Right, and that legislative branch is still the judicial branch.
Yeah, judicial. Yeah,
the judicial branch is still moving forward, and they stopping his travel ban. Still, they putting a lot of pressure on him, and then this knucklehead has the nerve to get mad at the judicial branch and say that they ain't nothing. They ain't doing nothing.
Who is this knucklehead?
Trump.
Oh, okay.
I mean, so he just insulted the judicial branch, which I think you're stupid. Now you're insulting the people who enforce the laws, and you've broken 50 million of them already. You're breaking laws, and nobody's enforced them on you. And now you're messing with the people who are enforcing the laws. Let him keep on saying the stuff he got to say. I just want to put him under the jail. I was hoping that when they indicted somebody, I figured Manafort was in there. Didn't know about Papadopoulos. Wasn't sure about Gates. But I was hoping a Trump was attached.
Well, 45 is trying to act like Papadopoulos ain't really nobody.
But a year ago, Papadopoulos was the stuff. And see,
he was.
One minute he says, I got this great memory.
Right,
like when he
right.
talked about the widow's husband. I got this great memory. This is what I said. I've got an impeccable memory. And now he's talking about, well, I don't remember that.
That's his way of trying to make it seem so uneventful. Like it didn't mean anything. It wasn't anything for me to remember during that meeting. When this guy was saying like he was trying to set up a meeting between you and Putin. Like if you don't know who Putin is.
And they got documentation where they specifically say to leave Trump out of it. So as to create deniability. I mean, this was planned. This is some crazy mess right here. And then that dang on Sanders Huckabee chick.
No, don't get me started. I just can't wait.
She should quit her job.
Why?
I have more respect for Sean Spicer because he quit his job. He saw that was just out of hand.
But he didn't quit. He didn't quit the job because it was out of hand. He quit the job because the mooch, I think, got the job that he wanted.
Well,
so that's different. So I can't really have as much respect for him.
I didn't say I had a lot of respect. Okay. I said I got more respect for him than her.
Than Sarah.
She need to quit her job.
It couldn't be me. If I was in that press pool in the White House and she's spewing the lies that she's spewing, then I would just get up and walk out every day. As soon as she started lying or trying to spin some shit sideways, I would get up. You know what? Let's go. We don't have time for this because you're showing the American people the White House's, I guess, response to what's going on, and they don't care about telling you the truth. They will lie. And then with Kelly coming out talking about how the Civil War was started because people couldn't compromise about slavery. Like, why are
there is no compromise?
Why are we trying to spin this? It makes absolutely
and I had a little respect for him before he made that statement.
No, I lost respect for him when he came out trying to go against the Congresswoman Frederica in Florida, when he came out trying and then lied about what she said.
Well, when he lied about what she said, I said, okay, maybe he just missed something. I tried to let it go, but then there was the slavery comment.
But
I'm like, okay, I have no
when people
respect
point
for
to you, point out your lies to you, the least you can do is take responsibility for it and say, I misspoke, I misremembered, I apologize. But that's just not because he's on the same bandwagon as 45. We don't care. We can say whatever we want to, and it is what it is.
Well, I lost all respect for him when he made his little comment about compromising about slavery. It's no compromise to the enslavement of a people. It's just no compromise.
But it's probably just what he believes that the Civil War was about. It was about standing up against.
They need to pick up their history books because I don't know. I mean, I learned American history from a history book. Now, granted, don't get me wrong. My mama also gave me an African history book. So I learned my history, but America's history I learned in school. So I don't see how I know more than these people do. And then especially a military person, you should know what happened.
If you care to know what happened, then you would know what happened.
You should know what happened. Moving on. The DNC. Now they in trouble again, and we can't not talk about it.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Donna Brazile wrote a book, and in the book, she basically says Hillary Clinton bought the DNC and stole the primary from Bernie Sanders.
The primary nomination, yeah.
Now here's the thing. Here's my problem with this. Number one, although it was wrong, and as far as I'm concerned, Hillary Clinton should have never done that. Now, her excuse is that the DNC was bleeding money. They needed to help, so she gave them the money they needed to stand, yada, yada, yada.
Right, yeah.
And if that's the case, she should have waited until after she ran for office, and she should have just covered her own tab. And then after she ran for office, then she could take care of the DNC, but not in the middle of your campaign. Number one. Number two, we knew about this a while ago. We knew about this when WikiLeaks started leaking the emails from the DNC, because before Bernie Sanders was not elected, before that primary, we knew this was going on, and Bernie Sanders got the short end of the stick because we talked about it on the show.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah,
I remember knowing about it. I don't remember us talking about it. But it was like I follow Sean King and I follow Bernie Sanders, so I knew that it was some stuff going on in the background, and he was basically robbed of the nomination,
right?
For Hillary, or
now,
by Hillary or her campaign.
And here's the thing: the second thing is, was he really robbed? I can't say that. Just like they can't say for sure that with everything that what happened with the Russians actually affected the election. All we know is that media was put out there in support of one candidate. So the DNC was spending money for Hillary, putting more money
but it
out
was
there
her
for
money.
Her. It was her money. So she'd have been spending it, had it not been the DNC that she was giving it to, she'd have been spending it on herself anyway. My main thing is that do people really vote due to the political ads they see. That's where the question comes into.
I think
and it may be true. I'm not saying it's not, but it's one of those things that if you can't prove, if we can't take the evidence we have right now and say that Trump got the nomination because of Russia's meddling, then we can't do that and say Hillary got the nod because of she owned the DNC.
Yeah. But speak for yourself. I can say, I can say that Trump got the nomination because of Russia's interference. And then when they released some of the ads that they put out there, and just looking at the people that actually stand up and support Trump, no matter what he does, no matter what he says, there has to be something more to it. That's the reason. Yeah, that's the reason
I agree with you,
say.
but I'm just saying that's their status quo.
Yeah.
Oh, we can't. No. We can't.
Now, from a legal standpoint, you can't be sure.
So if that's the case, you can't be sure here. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not okay with what she did.
Right.
I'm not okay. It was very unethical. But like
I
Trump
don't blame her. I blame the DNC.
I blame them all.
Okay.
I blame them all.
I blame the DNC.
It was what she did was unethical.
There should have been practices in place to prevent that.
But she knew better.
Whether she knew better or not, it should have been allowed by the DNC.
It shouldn't have been allowed by the DNC.
That's why I give more,
I understand. You were right.
Them.
It shouldn't have been allowed. But the big thing is we got to say something. We got to stand up. We got to go in. Now it's time to clean up the DNC.
True.
Okay. Elizabeth Warren says she knew, and I'm very upset with her because my thing about all of this is one person knows, if you know about a crime and you don't tell the police and the crime is committed, you're an accessory to the crime.
Yeah.
Why is this not the same here? Now, like I said, this is unethical, 100% unethical. But Trump is asking for Sessions to investigate what she did. Okay, investigate or no. And of course, he's not doing it because there's no legal standpoint here.
Right.
She didn't do anything illegal. She did something unethical.
Right. And everything he does, for the most part, is unethical.
And everything he does is unethical, and a lot of stuff he does is illegal.
Yeah. So you can't sick your dogs on her without the American people wanting your dogs to be sicked on you.
And we still want your dog sicked on you.
So shut what they call the hell up.
There you go. I use the F-bomb, but see, I cuss a little bit more since you've been gone.
Right on.
For a few days. Okay. New York. The terrorist attack in New York is the first since 9/11 that has happened on America's soil. Children were involved, just regular old pedestrians involved, bike riders involved, and the man was caught. Thank God. There were people recording. Thank God. So, I mean, everything, there's so much evidence against him. The Home Depot truck that he used, and I hate to use Home Depot's name in here because they didn't have nothing to do with it. So you can still go to Home Depot. But the truck he used was had letters in it. They found paraphernalia. ISIS.
What does that mean, letters?
He left a letter basically saying he did this for ISIS.
Okay.
So ISIS
This don't sound like entirely too much evidence. That I didn't know all of that.
Well, when people normally do things in the name of ISIS, they end up killing themselves. That's part of it. Their commitment is their life, to give their life. Mm-hmm. And he may have been. So sometimes they do find letters.
But he was taken alive.
He was taken alive because the cop that shot him thought before he shot and said, we need to take him alive so we can question him. And
there was a cop with as much sense to think we need to take him alive, but they don't think about that when it's coming to black people.
No, they're black.
We need to take him alive.
No, they're black. But I mean, this was a Muslim. Well, yeah, he was a Muslim. So right now,
you don't know that just from shooting him.
No.
We know this after the fact.
He was. I don't know what the cop knew. I think the cop knew that this man was mowing down people and they needed to
stop him.
Yeah. And figure out what was going on. That's what he knew when he went in. But yeah, he wasn't black, so he didn't shoot to kill. I thought about that too. But
and he wasn't he black and unarmed, but you still shoot to kill.
Right. And this man was armed.
Yeah.
Now he was armed with pellet guns. I believe, either pellet guns or paint guns, one or the other.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah, that's what I thought. And but I guess the biggest thing here is this was a terrorist attack. We know it was a terrorist attack. We know, we are 100% aware, 100% sure. But the day of, Agent Orange, tweeting. 3:00 in the morning, doing his thing, tweeting
about this attack.
Talking about the man. There are two problems with what he did. The first problem is he immediately called this a terrorist attack, immediately talked about his travel ban, and immediately said, we got to do better. We got to make it harder for these people to get into the country. Boom. Immediately. It was immediate.
Right. I heard he was trying to blame Schumer as well.
Oh, yeah. He threw everybody under the bus. But Vegas.
What about the Vegas? Yeah.
When it happened in Vegas, oh, well, we don't know what happened. We can't call. We don't need to be talking about gun control. We need to wait. And the fact that this guy, I don't know how many people, it was like 7 or 8 people that he attacked or ran down. Right.
How many people were killed? Do you know?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think it was
around 7 or 8. But this guy in Vegas, like
500
injured
and some odd people,
and we still need to like try to figure out what actually happened.
We still don't have any law in place for those
to prevent that
bump stocks.
Well, I heard I think it was Massachusetts was the first state to ban them. I think that came across the wire. Like,
I'm talking about federal law.
Well,
yeah,
that's not going to happen.
But it was supposed to. Remember, it's after it happened, a couple of days after. Oh, we're going to look into this. We've got to stop these from being sold.
Yeah, but those were states talking.
No, those were not states. That was the Senate.
Well, because of their states. I don't think they had any intentions.
Think they had any intent of doing it?
Because after Sandy Hook, when kids were killed, they didn't have any intentions of actually having gun regulation or gun control. So when adults are killed or shot or harmed or injured, why would they change the conversation?
Well, the second problem with what he did is he's calling for I'll send him to Gitmo and yada, yada, yada. In this country, we have what's called the right to a fair trial.
Yeah, due process.
No matter who you are, no matter what crime you commit, that is a constitutional right for every single American citizen. And this young man was an American citizen. Okay? Period. So as he's sitting up talking about he gonna send him to Gitmo, he needs the death penalty, he starts to mess with his right to a fair trial.
Because he's trying to influence the outcome of the trial before it even happens. And when that happens, there was an Army sergeant who supposedly, I guess, went AWOL over in Afghanistan, got captured and held for 7 years. They just got him home. And I don't think he's going to face any charges. Or
he
anything.
won't, because Donald Trump on the campaign trail said he needs to be shot, he needs to be killed, he needs to be arrested, he needs to go to jail, never come out. So he messed with his right to a fair trial. And the judge knew that. So as he's sitting here opening his mouth and shooting off at the mouth, he's messing with rights to a fair trial, and he's going to let somebody end up going. So here this man he's going to jail, and he rightfully should go to jail. And whether or not that's the death penalty, whether or not it's Gitmo, whether or not it's jail for the rest of his life, Trump opening his mouth and saying the things he's saying are messing with his chances of actually getting convicted.
He's influencing a jury pool.
And that means men won't have the right to a fair trial.
And he doesn't care. Again, you have to think about the people that are around this guy who cannot rein him in. And you think this guy is fit for office? Not you personally. I'm just saying people in America.
He ain't fit to shine my shoes. He ain't fit for nothing to me.
I wouldn't even, nope.
I think he's crazy.
He's beyond crazy. He's deranged.
There you go.
And then speaking of Trump basically saying who needs to die and who needs to do this, I was reading an article today about the Central Park 5 that he put out this full-page article against, saying they all need to die basically for a crime that they didn't commit.
They didn't even commit.
There was a settlement that came out, I think, sometime today. It was like $40 million or something like that, awarding these men
good
some type of settlement. When everybody, well, not everybody, when white folk were against them,
immediately ready to convict over information and that's what bothers me. The stuff that the information that we get in the public is guaranteed, never everything. So we kind of pass judgment without all the evidence.
Right.
We got to be careful about that. We too have to be careful.
Right.
So moving on.
I don't need any additional evidence when it comes to judging 45 though. I'm just gonna throw that.
No. 45 opens his mouth.
He gives you all you need. Somehow,
with all these cases, you only get a piece of the story here, a piece of the story. The defendant is usually very quiet, only speaks about certain things. They don't tell everything. This fool tell you everything.
And then the fact that he tells you everything and still don't know half of what it is a problem.
The best 11 minutes of my life was when they shut down his Twitter account.
I heard about that. I thought I was
yes!
talking about a hero in Twitter land. Like,
people talking about not buying this man dinner. And one of the things everybody's worried, the security. What if they'd have tweeted for him? The man didn't tweet anything. He just turned off his Twitter account.
Which needs to be done. He threatens people.
Twitter needs to turn off his Twitter account.
He tries to get us in the middle of wars. He is bad for our country, and he has a public platform where he can do this. He needs to be silenced and only focus on presidential shit, which he can't do.
This is getting ready to roll into our next topic, but Rose McGowan, they shut her Twitter account down because they said she was basically harassing Harvey Weinstein. But she is a victim,
right?
And she is calling out her accuser. She never mentioned him by name. She is calling out her accuser. So Twitter, instead, they shut her account down. Instead of being supportive of her, they shut her account down. But yet and still, they let this man say whatever he wants to say.
When it's a threat to American people.
Right.
That's what doesn't make any sense.
They need to shut his account down.
They're being biased.
They're being very biased.
I'm ready for the hashtag.
And I'm thinking maybe we need
delete Twitter. I'm ready for it.
How about the hashtag boycott Twitter until Trump's gone? Because you need to practice what you preach. If you're getting ready to kick everybody else off for little things, you dang on sure better kick him off, because he is the biggest bully, and he does all his bullying via Twitter.
And they know about it.
And they are 100% aware of it. But they apologize. So
did they give her Twitter back?
Boycott Twitter. She ended up going to Instagram. I never heard anything else about it. So I had to check to see if she got back into Twitter.
Well, that means that people must have spoke out against them deleting her account.
No, she went to Instagram.
But you said that they apologized. Why would they apologize if nobody?
For his 11 minutes.
Oh, that.
They didn't apologize to her.
Okay, I thought you were deleting
they haven't
her
apologized
account.
to her. And I don't think they deleted her account. They just shut it down and locked her out of it.
That's the same thing to me.
No, okay.
She can't access it. She might as well be gone.
So anyway,
the Harvey
Weinstein.
Yeah.
At this point, I have had to go to every male I know and say, now look here. You make sure you never get too drunk. You don't get too high to where you can't remember what you're doing.
Do you think I don't think that's what's going on.
No.
Okay,
no,
go ahead.
I'm just saying. I've gone to the men I know. Just be careful, because what you say.
You ain't told me that as I sip my drink.
Because I ain't seen you yet. So I'm telling you now.
But I also don't get drunk.
You don't get drunk to the point where you don't remember.
I'm at my house. Yeah, I'm gonna remember.
You don't do that.
I keep text messages. I keep emails. I'm gonna remember.
No, I'm talking about people who I know can get drunk and high and get to a point where they don't remember what they did.
Right.
And this is just a warning to them, because I don't want to say that this has gotten out of hand, because it hasn't gotten out of hand. This is a good thing.
Yeah. He was the problem.
They have gotten out of hand. It's not just him.
All right. It's Hollywood executives, period.
Everywhere.
It's just people in positions of power, starting with even with 45.
Well, we've got state senators coming out saying, me too. We've got men coming out saying, me too. What's his name? The guy on House of Cards. His name went out of my head that fast.
Kevin Spacey.
Thank you. He's in a ton of trouble. Men are coming up saying he molested or attempted to molest them when they were kids. So this is not only the fact that he's messing with men, without their approval, but he's messing with children now.
Right. That's the problem. He can mess with men all he wants to. Not
without their permission.
He needs their approval. But then the fact that the guy that came out was 14 years old, I believe at the time.
14 years old at the time.
That's the problem.
So now we're talking about kids. At first we were talking about women, but now we're talking about men and children. So one, if you are in a position where you feel like you're being harassed and molested or raped, and not feel like you're being raped, if you were raped, if you gave approval or not, please, one, seek help. You need to contact authorities and prosecute, and two, seek mental help. Because unfortunately, sometimes a rape victim just has to figure out how to process so they can move forward. But sometimes it also messes with your mind.
Right.
And it can cause you to become psychopathic. It can cause you to become bipolar. It can be the cause of you having dissociative identity disorder. And those things can result in serious problems, from just serious mental issues of being able to be with other people, issues of walking into a school and shooting everybody up.
Right. Because you haven't been able to process what you've
happened
gone through.
to you. So
and it can happen. It could take years for it actually reveals itself.
Right.
Yeah.
Because your brain has a way of locking things up
to protect
you,
right?
And little pieces of it just kind of seep out, and it just really messes with you
because you never know what's going to trigger that.
Right. So please, if you've ever had this experience, this is the opportunity. Nobody's gonna look at you and shame you, because you are not the one to be shamed. Please seek help. This is just, Hollywood is out of hand, but I mean, I've always known that.
Yeah, it's not just Hollywood. I'm sure all celebrities and like the rap community are just the community. Period.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere.
It is the culture of this country for men to do what they want to do, and people of power. People in positions of power to do what
and that
they
doesn't
want.
just
not
mean
all
men.
No, it doesn't mean just men. But old white men have a lot of power. They're usually the ones in positions of power. Mm-hmm. So that's why. And if you look at it, what's coming out is a bunch of old white men. Haven't seen anything about women yet.
But the whole one point that was brought out about the Kevin Spacey situation, I think he was 20 something, and a 14-year-old, he's in a position of power. Of course. He wasn't really in a position. He was just an older person
messing with a little kid.
With a little kid, yeah.
So you position of power.
You feel like they're in a position.
So
of power.
I mean, I get it. I understand people who say, I got to work for my kid. I got to do this for my kid. I'm sorry. I'm not that person. And I wish I could pass my strengths on so you don't have to be that person, because I'd be doggone. A job over my sanity? Nope. I'll quit in a heartbeat. I'll move in with my mama. And her house big enough.
Not everybody has a mom.
And I understand that.
It's saddening, though, that you have to choose, because I was watching, it's a show that I watched that you refuse to watch because you don't want to be emotional.
I don't want to cry.
It's not This Is Us, but I'm talking about Queen Sugar. But there's a lady on there who, she wants this big job. Her name is Charlie, and she's basically trying to get this big account because she owns this mill, and she wants this guy who's a white guy. He has 2,000 acres. She wants him to grind his sugar at her mill because that would be money for her mill. But he seems like he wants to be with her.
Grind her too.
Yeah, he wants to grind her. He's interested in her, and you almost get the vibe that she made think about doing it in order to get this account, and that bothers me. And so you have situations, not just on the show but in life, where women feel like, in order to get to that next level, I'm just going to have to endure this bullshit, endure this harassment, endure this assault, endure this, and sometimes, which we heard about during the whole Harvey Weinstein situation, endure this rape.
Oh yeah, and a lot of the women, basically said, "Oh, I knew what was about to happen, but what else could I do?" And all I'm thinking is, get a new job, go flip burgers somewhere, and like I said, that's me, because
Yeah, you're right,
I'm
right.
not gonna, and
because
I get
you're
it.
built differently.
Right,
Yeah.
and I get it. I get you're not me, and I get your circumstances are different. I get your
Right.
psychology is different. I totally understand that. But I was a tattletale when I was 5. I'm a tattletale now, and that just doesn't change for me. And for me, there is nothing, absolutely nothing, more important than me.
And there shouldn't be anything more important than you, but we don't want to come off as if we're basically
and I
saying,
don't.
no, I'm not talking about you.
I don't.
I'm just making sure that people out there listening don't feel that we are blaming the victims
No,
or saying
not
anything
at all.
about them. You did what you felt you had to do in the moment, and you weren't the one in the wrong.
You were definitely not the one in the wrong. If you did it and you lived through it, I
Thank
applaud
God you survived it.
I
Right.
applaud you
Yeah.
because you lived through it. If you have not sought help, please seek help because you need it. You need to be able to confide in somebody.
And it was like big names. I heard like Lupita came out saying she was assaulted.
many.
It was like Gwyneth Paltrow. I feel like Angelina Jolie. It was like I don't want to
many.
misname anybody, but I feel like it was some big name stars coming out.
Angelina Jolie said that he attempted,
Yeah.
and she walked away, and I don't think she's ever done a movie with him since. But again, Angelina Jolie was in a position of power herself. She's the daughter of John Voight. She has uncles and godfathers and in high positions
That
so
can help her.
she
Yeah.
didn't have to depend
And
on
she may
him.
not have been needing anybody's help. She could have done it on her own.
Right. She didn't have to depend on him. I think Whoopi Goldberg is another one that says, I'm just a different person. I was never looked at like that, number one. Number two, if you look at me like that, you ask me to do something like that, I'm going to tell you how I feel. And we know how she feels. So, she's just they're different, and that's why I'm saying I'm just a different person. I don't care who you are, I don't care what you're trying to hold over my head. I'm telling, that's just me. I don't expect anybody to be like me, or I don't expect everybody to be like me. It'd be nice if the world was like me, but might be a little boring too, because sometimes I get a little boring. But
sometimes
shut up. But if you were in a position and you did make a different choice, please find somebody to talk to, and please get help, because you're gonna need help for your mind. And don't feel like nobody's standing with you, because right now we are all standing with you. Over half of America is standing with you.
Right.
And a lot of men are standing with you as well. So, and no, you're not alone. That's the one thing this Me Too campaign has shown, is you're not alone.
And this is one of those situations where you wouldn't think that men would be going through the same thing as well. But I think it was it Corey Feldman and what was the other Corey?
Corey Feldman and Corey Haim.
I think they were, he came out, the one that's still alive came out saying that they experienced, he didn't want to name who it was though back then.
He named him.
I feel like he named him recently.
He named him in a book he wrote, but he didn't use his name. He used what sounds like his name. And he told everybody what movies he was in. So he was in License to Drive, and he was in Dream a Little Dream. And so everybody's looked him up. Everybody knows who he named. Now, the guy he named was just a low bit actor. I don't know if he's actually put money in there, but he doesn't really have a name in Hollywood, not a known name. Mm-hmm. But there's supposedly another one who has a huge name in Hollywood, and he talks about how they threw these parties for these kids, and they were just kind of like places for them to come and look for new meat, and that to me breaks my heart.
Yeah.
Little kids who can't defend themselves. Little kids who not only can't defend themselves, but don't even understand what's going on.
Impressionable like that. You're trying to basically break this new child. And that's
it's sad.
Yeah. And ridiculous.
And as he talks about this, he was on Dr. Oz just a few days ago. And as he was talking, he sounded like he was drunk, and he's talking about people are trying to kill him, and so he's has to go places with security. So he still hasn't named the big guy. And he says he's getting ready to, but he's going to do it in a movie. And my thing is, why not just name the guy now, and then it's out there? But he says death threats. He's gotten death threats. He's getting threats on his children. And it's sad.
And one thing to just to bring up, when we hear about stuff like this, there's always the question that not everybody, that a lot of people want to know. Why didn't you say anything when it had happened? Why did you wait so long? And it's not for us to dictate when someone tells their story.
Again,
but
you also have to remember the mind. It has a way of working to protect that person, and
no.
Can't, a lot of them can't.
I understand. I'm saying, but this is like if you go online and you look at any article about Harvey Weinstein, in the comment section, you're going to see people say, well, why didn't she say something? Even with the Kevin Spacey situation, why they wait 30 years in order to come out and say something? And Kevin Spacey ended up coming out saying that he's going to live his life as a gay man.
Well, I can answer some of that. For a 14-year-old who doesn't understand what's going on, who knows if he may have said something to a parent that didn't take it seriously. So for a 14-year-old, he didn't know. Mm-hmm. For a woman who sees that every man around her is sitting here keeping the secret. I mean, you look at what Harvey Weinstein, he wasn't the only one that knew. His HR department knew this was going on.
And other people who have been through his assault knew what was going on.
They were not telling. Nobody warned other women coming in, hey, this is this man's way. If you're going to be around here, you got to take it or leave. Nobody gave any warning. Nobody said anything. So why would you tell when everybody is on his side?
Would you feel some type of way if you went through a situation with Harvey Weinstein and then at this point, years later, all these women are coming out, women that you know, women that you've worked with and never said anything to you?
I would feel some type of way. I would feel some type of way that none of those women warned me.
And even if they didn't want to like come out and say anything like about him, just let you know, don't be alone with him or something like that. Just a heads up, yeah.
You know, Ashley Judd talks about how she went to the hotel. And I mean, this is something I wouldn't have done, but she did. She went to his hotel for a meeting and she asked where he was and they said up in his room. And she was like, okay, her first thought is, I don't want to go up here, but she did. You know, and I hate that. I wish they wouldn't do that. And in this now, New York,
but there's maybe a part of you that expects people to be decent. Like,
and
you know,
maybe
this is Hollywood. This guy,
maybe she did, but they every cop, every karate instructor, every anybody who is in a works in the field of self-defense will tell you. Follow your gut. That first reaction is always on point. And her first reaction was on point. Do not go up here. She got away. And she got away, thank God. And she even says, at first, I blamed myself. And it's not her fault.
Right.
But, hey, just be aware. That first reaction, let it go. Move forward. Move on. Don't go in a room with them. If you feel like something ain't right, run the other direction because it's usually right. And it's just sad. So right now, New York is talking about it's enough information to indict Harvey Weinstein.
For rape, right?
For rape, yeah. My thing is, I don't want just Harvey Weinstein gone. I want them to go into the Weinstein Company and I want them to hit the HR department because their HR department knew. That company is just as responsible. I want everybody to be held responsible who knew. And I'm not talking about the women who were victims at this point. I'm talking about everybody else up in there who knew what he was doing and didn't bother to say anything.
Didn't we have or hear about a similar situation when it comes to like Fox News and Bill O'Reilly? Where they were basically turning a blind eye to all the assault situation that he was getting in as long as he could pay it out.
They need to be held responsible. And if the government doesn't want to hold them responsible, I'm telling you now, ladies, young men, sue the hell out of both of these companies. I would sue the hell out of Fox News because they knew it was happening. And there's evidence that they knew it was happening.
There should be a responsibility to not only protect the victim, protect potential victims in the future. Because why would this guy change his ways when all he has to do is pay a couple of dollars and he can move on and do whatever he wants to do?
Right.
And that's the mindset of a Harvey Weinstein, of a person like Bill O'Reilly, allegedly. You know, the fact that he's paying out settlements, I feel like it's more than allegedly. But it's, just to be legal, on the safe side, I'm going to say allegedly. But that's the sad part. And I feel for ladies, out here just
I
trying
do.
to do a job, just trying to obtain a role, and you're objectified no matter what you do.
Yeah, and I really feel for the woman who's sitting there with 4 mouths to feed, single mom, and her boss is just all over her, and she's got a choice to make. Do I get him off of me, or do I feed my kids? Ladies, I'm telling you, get him off of you, sue the company, and you become your own boss. Just
Right
saying.
on.
Well, with that said, I think we've gotten a little deep for the first day back. So I'm just going to say good night, because I'll get deeper still. Because like I said, these last few weeks, I've just been sitting here going, woo.
It's been a lot going on.
So pay attention, get up, get out, vote. We'll talk about Martin Luther King, JFK on another day.
Peace.
Good night.